I'd like to call this Board of Selectmen's meeting of September 21st to order. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. You seen that, Annie on the telly there, or? Have you seen?
She's coming.
Huh?
She's definitely coming.
Maybe she's closing up.
Huh?
Maybe she's closing up down there. Should we skip to the minutes or?
Okay, let's go through the minutes. Approve the minutes of August 17th.
So moved?
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Accept for review minutes of September 7th.
So moved?
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Accept request to appoint, oh, no, we'll forget that now. Annie is here with us. Annie Anatelli, Town Clerk, discussion regarding early voting and new voting machines. Boy, you're getting modern down there.
Yeah.
Huh?
You want me to come up there?
Yeah, you got the floor and explain to us what's going on and.
Well, I just wanted to bring it to your attention that for the first time this election in November, there is going to be early voting. So the governor has signed a new election law for all biannual state elections. So it'll be presidential election and the gubernatorial election that the people will be able to come into the town hall and vote early. So the voting period will start it runs from October 24th to November 4th, and will be open during regular business hours, and will also be open one Saturday, October 29th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for people to come in and cast their ballots.
Oh, that's good.
And
There's no excuse that they can't.
so they're hoping that it'll cut down on the amount of people in line on election day. And I also wanted to get out there for whoever's listening that if they're not sure if they're registered to vote, the deadline is October 19th to register for the presidential election, so they should contact the town clerk's office to make sure they're all set.
So 19th is the key day
Yep,
there.
that's the last day, and the town clerk's office will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for anybody who wants to come in and register to vote in person on that day. And then the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is that we've made a decision on the new voting machines. I put in your packet the ones that we chose. There are only 2 voting machines in Massachusetts that are approved by the state for voting. We looked at both of them, and this is the one that we like, the DS200. We liked it because it has a very large screen that's easy to read, and it seems to be very simple for voters to understand and to, for the poll workers to help them cast their votes.
So no more paper at all?
No.
It'll be paper still.
Oh,
It's
so
a
this is just the machine
scanner.
that it goes
Yeah,
into?
yeah, so it'll scan them, it'll scan it in. They'll still have to fill out their ballots.
So what was the difference in price between the two?
Actually, the one we picked was the lesser by a couple of grand.
Because you know how we like to save money.
Yeah, yeah. So this one was, I put the proposal in there for this one, and it's right here. It's 11,656, and the other one was just about $13,000. So,
Okay.
yeah. They both were pretty compatible price-wise, but we just felt that this one had a much easier process to cast your vote.
So we're budgeted for that?
We got that through town meeting capital
Right,
budget.
so-
Yeah. So I will be ordering them soon. They're not gonna be in place, obviously, for the presidential election because it's too soon. And also, you as selectmen need to take a vote 120 days prior to the next election to stop using the AccuVote system that we use now and to start using this. So once I get through the presidential election and I get this all ordered and ready to go, I will be coming back to you in December for you to take that vote, so that it will be in place for the April town election.
Anthony, you have any questions?
I do not.
Does anybody, Dave, you have any comments or?
No, I do not.
Okay? So if you can just let the word out, and we did do a video that is now on the town website on early voting for anybody that would like to see it. Okay?
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Thank
you
you.
very much for the info.
You're welcome.
Okay. It's still a little bit early, but I suppose I can take out of order. No problem there. Marilyn Mather, candidate for Council of Aging Director. We get a letter, the Honorable Board of Selectmen on September 7th, 2016. Members of the Board of Directors of the Council of Aging interviewed 2 qualified candidates for the position of Director of Elderly Services. The candidates were Marilyn Mather and Wendy Adams. Mr. David Gagny, Town Administrator, observed the interviews. Although both candidates had impressive resumes, after much consideration and deliberation, we, the Board of Directors of the Council of Aging, came to the decision to recommend the Board of Selectmen Marilyn Mather be appointed to the position of Director of Elderly Service. The vote was unanimous. And there's the letter. Any comments?
I have a few questions. Would you like to come up?
Sure.
Thank you. First question is, do you have any changes in mind? And do you have a long-term plan? Do you have any changes that you'd like to make immediately? And what do you see the future like?
My immediate thoughts were to increase programming for the fall and increase the numbers that are coming. Right now, we have between 60 and 80 coming for lunch. We hold 100 or 120 without a dance floor, and would like to increase the lunch crowd. Right now, our van service is running 24/7, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so we can't do anything about that right now, but we also have a second van, if that's necessary, for those days that are the busiest in the center. I'd like to put more on the website. I'd like to perhaps investigate doing a Facebook page for the council. I'd like to involve the enterprise more. And with that said, our outreach department is moving at 110%, and we can't put any more on their plate right now, but we have Wendy who's full-time doing that, and Fran is assisting her. So those are my short-term focuses. My long-term focus, I have a couple of things I'd like to do to change the building. I'd like to screen in 3/4 of the back porch and install ceiling fans so we can use that more 3 seasons rather than just when it's cool and there are no bees to get into your lunch. Beyond that, I need to increase the staff so we can accomplish all these things.
Okay. Is there anything that you would be coming to us, asking us for, whether it be a wish list, necessities?
Wish list and necessities. The necessities, we have a fairly good size gift and donation budget, and with that, I'm looking to talk to the board and perhaps use that for the porch construction. And also our grants are helping pay some of our staff. We have several grants there. At some point, I'd like to investigate more of that. But as far as coming to you, probably yes, probably some of the programming that I'd like to do, I'd like to pass it on to other people and get input.
Okay. How many counselors are there that are certified? I think
Oh,
Shrine.
the Shine
is
certified
yeah.
counselors, 2.
Okay. You don't have that certification, correct?
I do not.
Would you be seeking that, or?
Not at this time. What the Shine, there's a whole unit, and the Shine counselors report to them for updates and for more education. They also train volunteers, and in training volunteers, we would be on the list to receive a volunteer to help us out if necessary. As far as learning what Shine is, and as far as being able to help somebody, yes, I will definitely be doing that and getting educated. on what these people are doing.
Okay, thank you, that's all I have.
Do you ever have a request from, like, housing? You think about people, like, we always try to move, like, the housing we have over there, that's the drive, but every time I go, it goes to a dead end. We have, you know, a piece of property over on Belmont Street that it just sits over there. And I just had a gentleman, he didn't wait a long time, but he waited a while to get in over there. But do you have any requests coming in from the elderly as far as housing goes?
We do, and we also from non-elderly.
Yeah.
Many times people will come in and they're in dire need of housing. And we help them with any resources that we have. And we also send them over to our housing authority lady. I've forgotten her name off the top of my head, and to see if we can get them on a list for the housing over there.
I
on
see
Exeter
them
Drive.
together, so you kind of work together and,
We do.
you know,
Yeah.
because,
And I know Town Hall, many times they'll come in and say, I was at Town Hall, and they suggested we come here. So I know that we're working together with the Town Hall as well.
I know that you work very, very well, because I'm on the Old Colony Plan Council, and you work very well with the council up there, and the many grants that are available.
Yes.
And anything that, and you're gonna be continuing that? Is that-
Oh,
that's been done
absolutely.
for-
Old Colony Elderly Services and Old Colony Planning Council, we're in touch with them almost on a daily basis. I am anyway.
Because, you know, it's a great facility over there. In fact, it's one of the model ones out there that, and how it's run and how it's kept up. And it sounds that you not only want to do what's being done, but you want to expand it even further.
Of course, I don't,
yeah,
I would
yeah.
rather not stay stagnant. I'd like to get at new ideas. We're encountering a lot more baby boomers coming in.
Right.
Their needs are very different than older people, older than baby boomers.
And your food is excellent, you know, and I know that they convert on certain meals over there, like maybe meatloaf, and then the whole place is full, and then sometimes you go over there and you might not see too many people, but, you know, they more or less
Sometime-
favor certain.
We've noted that they prefer not to have a sandwich in a bowl of soup. They prefer to have
They want full meals.
a full meal. But
yeah.
every once in a while, we do need to give them a sandwich and a bowl of soup because we have a budget and we can't always give them turkey and
right.
ham and pork.
Okay.
We try to do one of those larger meals every week.
Okay, you do a great job.
Thank you. We have a great team over there and
Yeah.
a good board. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to thank, Chris, the people that are behind you there that work very, very well with you, you know. Well, I don't have any other questions. Is there a motion to,
I'll make a motion that we accept the Board of Directors from the Senior Center's recommendation and appoint Marilyn as the director, contingent upon compensation acceptance.
okay, I will second the motion. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Working together soon.
Yes.
Hi, congratulations. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome to stay if you want to, or do what you want, you know.
Supper calls.
Going through the rest of the agenda here.
Thank you.
Okay,
Good night.
thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you, Bruce.
Take care, Bruce. Okay, wait, accept, okay. Accept request to appoint Wendy Adams to the Board of Directors of the Old Colony Elderly Service.
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll make the second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So voted. Approve West Bridgewater municipal aggregation. Okay, maybe you can touch a little bit on that, David, if you would?
Sure. If you recall, we went to town meeting this past year. The Board of Selectmen supported inquiring about aggregating electricity on behalf of the municipality.
Yeah.
This gives us an opportunity to be able to buy electricity as one 7,000-strong consumer. And so this is an aggregation plan that is a template that is approved by the Department of Public Utilities. I have made sure that it's structured specifically to the town of West Bridgewater, requesting a vote of the board to approve it. It will then go on to the state. The next step after this is our consultant, which you hired, which is Colonial Group. They will then go out to bid. Once they select a bidder, before they go out to bid, they will be back before this board because we'll determine what you would like to place into that bid, i.e., for example, do you want to have 15% if it's solar? Do you just want the cheapest price? Do you want it to be sourced local versus maybe national or even international? You'll have some of those choices to make. But this is the step first that we have to send, is this plan to the Department of Public Utilities to make them aware that we will be going forward with this process.
Okay, any questions on that?
No, it's a good program, I think.
And you want a motion to move it on?
Yeah, correct, just a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so voted.
Thank you.
Okay, approved Kenneth Averio vacation carryover request. Okay. This is something that we do, not all the time, but often. And you have no problem with that, Dave?
I do not.
Anthony, do you have any comments? Or-
No, so moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
The vote approved F-Secure special event request, October 11th, 6 PM to 10 PM.
Same license, right?
Yep.
They don't have a full liquor license, right? It's just
Correct,
for
but
the-
it's the same license, they're just not open on Tuesdays, and they're looking to open one night on a Tuesday night. That's really what their request is. Now, everything else stays the same.
All right. Good luck to them. So moved.
Second, all those in favor? So voted. Ratify Conservation Commission MSS for agent FY17 contract amendment.
Yeah, so we've already budgeted for this. This was part of the conversation with the selectmen and the finance committee back in the budget season and approved at town meeting. There are no EPA requirements under our MS4, which is our municipal stormwater management team, requirements. And so we have to appoint someone who's in charge. The most likely person that also has the skill set is our conservation agent, John Delano. So we just have to amend his contract so that way it lines up with what we have done from a budgeting standpoint, which all it is, it's the same numbers, except that he's allowed 7 more working hours per week.
Any questions on that, Anthony?
No questions. I'll move it.
I'll second it. No questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Communication reports from boards, commissions, and town officials. Water use restrictions from the water department.
Yeah, so I think it's important to note that currently, right now, there is no water ban in the town of West Bridgewater because we're fortunate that we have plenty of water capacity. The issue is that Mass DEP has passed a regulation that nobody can water during the day. And so most other towns have taken that to the next step, where not only do they not allow you to water during the day, they also place bans in. For example, you'll see even numbers, odd numbers is the one that you'll normally see. Some of them don't even allow you to be able to water for a whole week at a time. We don't have that issue because, again, we have the capacity. But what this letter is stating is that the water superintendent and water commissioners are highly recommending that our residents abide by that regulation and not water during the day. Because since a lot of people pass through our town on their way to Route 24 using 28 or 106, if they see people using it during the day and they call Mass DEP could then enforce stringent regulations in our town, even though we have the water capacity. And we're not looking to try to open that door. So again, the water department is just asking, please respect Mass DEP's requirement that you do not water during sunlight hours.
So I think that's very, very clear. You want to add anything on to that, Anthony? Nothing?
No?
Correspondence from public to determine the course of action. You got a big audience out there. I don't hear anybody saying anything, so. Anthony, do you have any comments?
No comments.
I have a comment, and this has got to do with the recent saying that 9/11 is over this year. as I picked up the paper Sunday morning, I was amazed. I called Bill Cavadas right off. And almost the town officials don't have any concern for what happened. A lot of people were killed, and we must never forget. Now, I know myself, I called Bill Cavadas and immediately discussed the matter with him, and he had nothing to do with the article that was in the paper. And of course, those little articles are in the paper that don't have reporters' names, it's pretty hard to get back to anybody. But anyhow, it sort of more or less picked on the town officials. That we don't have any regard for those kind of things, but we do have a claim. I myself went over there at about 8:30. I went to the fire department. They told me that they had already put the stuff out. The wind came up. They took it all in because they figured it was going to be blowing all over the place. Okay, so that was the reason. I know that Jerry passed through there. I paid my respect, went around the front there, and I'm quite sure probably Anthony, you passed through there. But I don't really like to criticize us, for not being attentive, because we are very, very concerned. I talked to Dave about this. He says, in the future, I think we'll designate a time that the Board of Selectmen will meet over there. Okay.
Okay.
Because then there won't be no misunderstanding here. And then maybe we should even meet before, if there's some kind of a ceremony. I know they wanted to do some work in there, over there, and really that never moved forward. But maybe a call to the fire department and put everything in. One of the things that David says when he came to this town at first, we don't have a lot of probably communication problems, but we do have some out there. And things got muddled up like this. But we do care, and we certainly will be there anywhere that we're supposed to be to represent the town. So I just want to make that comment. There's no other, of course, you know that we got the Tri-Town Parade. We met for the Veterans Day. It's going to be on November 11th, rain or shine. The parade will be in West Bridgewater this year. The theme for the parade is Thank a Veteran, Trophies Rewarded, Best Marching Unit, and all the way through like we usually do. We'll step off at 10 a.m. over at North Elm Street and go back to the gazebo here. And St. Anne's Church Center, they'll have coffee and maybe a few sandwiches afterwards. This is being organized now. The next meeting of this committee, which I am on, will be the 27th of November, when we meet with the other communities and the other towns and try to keep this thing on there. So,
That's good.
any questions about that? So, I can get the answers. Okay. I think that moves us along. Is there anything else you'd like to bring up?
No.
Town Administrator's Report, Bridgewater State University.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So again, this is just another update to the board. I've been meeting with Bridgewater State officials. They are in the process of vetting a handful of graduate students and undergraduate students that meet our criteria. One for the Board of Selectmen's office, which will help me doing research, and the second one will be for the conservation agent and helping him with stormwater management. So once I interview them and we bring somebody on board, I'll provide a memo to the both of you to the board, so that way you know. But again, I think that this is just an excellent opportunity to partner with a first-rate local university that's just been underutilized in the past. And so I think it's just an opportunity that I really want to make sure that we capitalize on.
Good.
Mr. Chairman, I spoke to you a little over a week ago. Because of the size of the building being a public building and state law, we have to obviously have sprinklers inside the building, and that sprinkler system is powered by a system in the basement that unfortunately both the compressor and the dry valve both failed. We were able to call it in under an emergency to get it immediately fixed, so that way it was not a public safety issue. And we purchased a new compressor, and now we're in the process of putting a new dry valve on. Unfortunately, all told, the original quote was about $13,000. I've negotiated down to a little over 10. So we've been able to save some money through negotiating. John Cruz was extremely helpful. He came out, he met with the electrician, the sprinkler company, and the alarm company with me. He spent at least a couple of hours with me making sure that we were getting the right parts at the right price from the right people. And so that will be fixed in the short term. The money is going to be appropriated and forwarded over from the municipal building needs, and I've already spoken to the chairman and the assistant chairman there. So we're working on it. It'll be handled, but I just wanted to make sure the board and the public was aware, in case they caught wind of it, that it's being handled, and we did our best to try to save money during the entire process. Next on the agenda is our community development grant that we share with the town of Avon. This is an excellent opportunity for somebody who meets the income requirements, that lives in town, that has serious code issues, violation issues, or in desperate need of repair on, say, for example, their roof or their windows on their primary home. It is not a loan program. There is $224,000 that was appropriated through federal grant funds. We've only spent $80,000. The program actually expires at the end of this year. We're going to ask for an extension because at this point we hate to see the money disappear. The application is on the Board of Selectmen's website, and also you can go to the Council on Aging and fill out the form as well. But again, it's just, I want to bring it up because it's an excellent opportunity for people who qualify, that probably going into the winter, if they have a door or windows, that they're able to make a little bit better tight, so that way they could save some energy costs. So again, I just wanted to bring that up. And the last is the town hall land use policy. That was a policy that the board discussed at last meeting, requested me to draft a policy. It was initiated by Selectman Lawrence, who is not here because he got stuck on a plane in Washington, D.C. So he requested that since he couldn't be here, that the board table it to the next meeting.
Okay, is there a motion to table?
So moved.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, and that's my report.
Anything
you,
else
David.
that you'd like to bring up? Okay, if there's none,
Thank you.
executive session motion, September 21st, 2016. I would entertain a motion to enter into executive session, not to return to open session for the purpose of conducting a strategy session preparation and negotiation with non-union personnel, specifically the conservation director, and to consider the purchase of real property, specifically Riverbend Country Club, since in my opinion, this here discussion in open session would have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the town. Roll call vote.
Kinahan, yes.
Marreri, yes. We are now in executive session. Good night, and we will not reconvene into open session.